your number one hype gal here, and welcome to the weekly warm-up, your weekly dose to feel a little more confident and a lot more human. I'm Jess Rose McDowell, and each week I'll share life updates, mindset shifts, product faves, the little things that help me stay grounded, energized, and moving and grooving. Whether you're heading out for a jog, sipping your morning coffee, or just need a midweek pick-me-up, this is your warm-up for living a real balanced life. So take a breath, shake it out, and let's dive in. Welcome to episode 10 of the Weekly Warm-Up Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest on, a lovely gal, Sophia. Do you like to go by Sophie or Sophia?
So I get this question a lot. It's probably my fault because my birth name is Sophia, but everyone kind of calls me Sophie. I feel like that's the fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophie's going to the party versus Sophia, you need to do your homework.
Got it. Well, then we're going to do Sophie today, I think, right?
I love it. Yeah,
Okay,
that works.
Good. Yeah. So we have a lovely guest. I actually met her through a Sports Illustrated swim search, which we'll get into. I'm really excited about. But I kind of wanted to start just by having you give like a brief bio, intro, just tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, well, hi, I'm Sophie or Sophia. You could call me Soph too if you panic and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So a little about me. I kind of call myself a media personality because I do all sorts of things. I do radio, TV, and content creation all in the Boston area. I recently won the title of Miss New Hampshire Volunteer, so I get to compete for Miss Volunteer America next year, which is really exciting. I'm kind of new to the pageant world. So it is, it's been a whirlwind, but it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I also have a corgi. His name is Eugene.
Eugene, that's such a good name.
Right? When my family and I thought of that, like we kind of manifested Eugene, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
It's just the best name. Um,
Good.
yeah, and I love staying active. I love a Pilates class, a cycle class, a walk. It does get cold here in New England, so it's hard to get that motivation sometimes to stay active, but
Totally.
it's that's kind of my life. A rinse and repeat. Every day looks pretty different, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So
I love that. Well, we're going to definitely touch on some of the stuff that you mentioned. So let's go in and let's dive in. We're going to go and start by talking about your pageant because you just won. And I think that is just so amazing, especially if you just said that you're newer to it. And I love what you stand for as far as why you're doing pageants and how you're, involved with community and all the different outreach that you do. So kind of talk about that, Miss Pageant Queen.
yeah, it's been crazy. Like I said, I had a friend who was Miss New Hampshire in the Miss America organization about a year or two ago. Throughout like my childhood, people always said to me, I think you would be a good fit for the Miss New Hampshire program. And I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was time. And when I do something, I really like full throttle want to press the gas, be fully in it. And when I was in high school, that wasn't it. So over time, I went to college and then I started to do radio and I connected with the Miss New Hampshire and she was like, you should do it. And at the time, I had some extra time. So we sat down and we had the conversation and she kind of guided me through the process. So I competed under the Miss America organization first.
Wow.
I won my first local title. That was back in, oh my gosh, October of last year. And that was wild because before that, I competed in one other local. And you have to win a local to compete in Miss America or the Miss America organization. So I was first runner up at my first local, won my second local, and then went to Miss New Hampshire and placed third runner up for my first try, which I was very excited about that because I just wanted to feel like accomplished.
Totally.
And then when I didn't win that, I kind of still had the bug a little. And that the Miss New Hampshire volunteer competition was shortly after Miss New Hampshire. So I said, you know what? I'm in the groove. I can use the same wardrobe. We'll just try again.
Yeah.
And I won Miss New Hampshire Volunteer, which was incredible. So
Full
from
circle.
there, it's really cool too because the Miss New Hampshire or the Miss Volunteer America program rather is so new that they'll be crowning the fifth Miss New Hampshire or the fifth Miss Volunteer America ever.
Wow.
In June, and it will be my fifth pageant ever when I go. So maybe that's a sign.
Easter egg kind of thing, like 5 and 5. We like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, my fingers are crossed, and I'm going to take every bit of my year
Mm.
to say yes to everything, take every opportunity, and also just use this platform the best that I can to be in rooms that maybe I couldn't be in as just a, Sophie Sargent without a title.
Yeah.
And this year, I have a lot of goals right now. We're really focused on fundraising for St. Jude. There's a walk in Boston Common on the 27th,
Oh,
and I'm looking forward to that. That will be so much fun. I mean, and as you know, the St. Jude Research Hospital is just a great cause because all of these kids and families are going through so much. So the
mhm.
fact that families don't have to pay a dime or worry about payments for care or hotels or food is just like so amazing. And then after that, I'll have a little bit of time before we get into Salvation Army work. But my goal really throughout is to promote my Serve initiative as well, which is like our community service cause. And for me, I'm choosing Lyme disease awareness because, especially growing up here in New England in New Hampshire, it has been, a struggle for my family and I when we were all diagnosed, but also I think a lot of other families are going through it and they may not know it. And I say that because I look at my family story. And my mom back in 2017 was experiencing heart issues. And my mom was a runner like you, very active, still holds track records at her high school. Like,
That
she
girl.
was
I
awesome.
love that.
Right? So when she started to feel like she was having heart issues, we were all very skeptical of what was going on. And,
Yeah.
long story short, she ended up in the ER thinking she was going to have a heart attack. And she took all sorts of tests and they all came back as she was normal. And that's when she said, okay, something's really wrong here. I know myself, I know my body. What can I do?
Yeah.
So she started going to specialists, doing all these research and trying to like find the root cause of the issue until finally someone kind of pointed her in the direction of Lyme disease. She tested a couple times at her primary care and with the primary care test, they don't do a full in depth test. So sometimes it'll come back and say that you're negative, even if you're positive. And so she ended up taking that one and then taking one from a specialist,
Wow.
and it came back with Lyme.
So,
And my
question.
brother,
Are you saying that when people go in for a test, they're not fully getting the background test that they would potentially need to discover something and they would actually and then have to be sent to a specialist? So there's a lot of people that are just basically getting missed consistently?
yes, because so part of it is that when you go to your primary care, right? And
Yeah.
maybe you're taking a food allergy panel. Think about how they're testing you for like 10 of the top food allergies when you might have a food allergy to like spinach and they're not
Yeah.
testing you for spinach. And so then you're thinking to yourself, well, what's wrong with me because it didn't come back?
Hmm.
When if you go to maybe a dietitian or somebody who can give you that more in depth test,
Yeah.
it will come back. And
Okay.
it's kind of the same thing with Lyme a little bit because they'll test you for a few, but there's hundreds of tick-borne illnesses
Yeah.
that may not be Lyme disease, but it still affects you because it came from a tick.
Got it.
And also, if you're symptomatic at the time you take the test, you're more likely to get a positive result versus if your symptoms are dormant in your body.
Okay.
So you kind of got to catch it at the right time and know what test to take. It's Lyme disease can cause so many things in
Hmm.
people. The symptoms are so broad. Like my brother was mental health, my sister had gut issues, my mom, it was in her heart. And so that just wide range of symptoms, it's like, how would you know that it's Lyme unless you're able to have access to that test?
So, how has that affected, I guess, your family as a whole, as far as you mentioned, mental health, but also just kind of like the struggles and fear of the unknown? It's not something where it's a deadly disease. How do you, as a family, kind of work through this?
Ultimately, it comes down to just taking care of yourself. It kind of
Yeah.
sounds easy, but we live in a society where we're eating all of these inflammatory foods. Even
Mhm.
coffee. I love coffee, but it inflames the crap out of you. And Lyme really it's inflaming your body with all the toxins.
Yeah.
So just eating sort of like an anti-inflammatory diet. For me, a food sensitivity test was super helpful because that was telling me what was helpful for me to be eating and what wasn't, and what was actually making it worse. So sometimes it's your diet, but also just sitting in a sauna whenever you have access to those extra tools like a sauna or a cold plunge, and even honestly, maybe a couple extra hours of sleep. Anytime that you can recover and also just get that stuff out, of
Yeah.
you is part of the process and even an Epsom salt bath. But that's kind of a slight tangent. To answer your question
No,
more,
no, I love.
it's like, it's really just, figuring out how we can help each other because my family and I, we were very active.
Yeah.
We're very healthy people, at least we thought we were. Well, when the Lyme came into our lives, we were a little shocked
Yeah.
because we're like, wait, we feel like we're the healthiest people around. We're athletes. Like, how could this happen to us?
Mhm.
So, it's just taking those extra steps and making sure that when you know something is wrong with you, you act on it accordingly and being able to advocate for yourself. I think as
Absolutely.
a family, we've together kind of learned like, if you feel off, say something, do something. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's in your hands. But I'm so grateful for my mom to really have done all of that research because without her, I mean, we could probably be really sick right now. Because if you don't
Yeah.
address Lyme, the longer you wait, it really could kill you. It can paralyze you. Like, it can really harm your brain as
Yeah.
well. And, we got lucky in a way that we were able to find it and take our vitamins and antibiotics and just be at least aware of it because you may have Lyme symptoms for the rest of your life, depending on your type and how quickly you caught it. So just learning how to take care of yourself and adapt to that time where you may need to just take an extra day to rest. You might just have
Absolutely.
to,
Yeah.
or be like, yeah, no, I can't go drink with my friends because I'm going to feel like crap the next day.
Yeah.
It's really prioritizing
Elevated
you and
boundaries that you like it's unfortunately, you almost have to think not only about just your being a human and, like if you go out to drink, we have to deal with hangovers. But for you, I get it. It's, you're having to also think about your entire well being for a lot longer than just dealing with a hangover. So it's just having to really like listen to your body and setting those boundaries.
yes, and you may wake up one day and feel incredible and feel like you can go have a drink because sometimes Lyme is like that.
Mm.
But on the days that you can't, that you don't feel like that, having a drink is just going to set back your progress
Yeah.
so much. So yes, listening to your body is crucial.
Speaking of, then I kind of wanted to go into something about the stigma behind mental health with pageants and kind of dealing, obviously with, health as well. But how do you think with pageants and what you've dealt with so far, as far as body image goes, as far as mental health, as far as beauty, do you find that it has changed a lot or do you think that it's stayed the same, gotten better?
Well, for the pageant world as a whole, I feel like I've seen the trends going back sort of to the traditional pageant girl in some
Mhm.
ways. But then again, it depends on the organization. It depends on what kind of leader they want. And that
Yeah.
changes every year.
Mm.
I know that for a while, like Miss America was doing swimwear. And that's like those TV contracts made them so much money because
Yeah.
you could see these gorgeous girls who were not only smart and talented, but looked incredible on a stage in a bikini. And
Right.
actually, that's how Miss Volunteer America was created because when MAO got rid of swim, Miss Volunteer America took like those TV contracts and said, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do
Yeah.
swim and we'll keep that part of the competition. So I don't know. I think it depends on the organization and its values. For Miss Volunteer America, they seem to have that classical, like, we want to keep the swim. But
Yeah.
MAO really prioritizes your schooling. Like, you get a lot of scholarship money. You do at Miss Volunteer America too, but it's more about how you are well rounded, I would say.
Nice. I
But
love
in
that.
terms of the future of pageants, I don't know where it's going to go and what it holds. But what I can tell you is that for me, finding confidence in myself before going into this was the most important part. I think a lot of girls skip that because they think, oh, I can be a title holder. I can do this. It seems so glamorous. And, you don't see the other side, which is the hard work and maybe criticism. I mean, you're on a national stage, right? When you're a state title holder competing for a national title. And I think that going into TV and media and all of these really insane careers, you could say early on, gave me all of that prep for not only trial and error, failing at things and gaining the confidence to say, you know what, it's okay to fail. Now I'm going to come back and do this. And also just learning what confidence was going to mean to me. For me, when I accomplish goals, it makes me more confident in myself. It's not
Yeah.
always how I necessarily look on the stage because
Mhm.
I know I'm eating well. I know I'm going to the gym. So as long as I am mentally strong, it really just changes the game.
But then
And
you
so if girls
naturally
are thinking of getting into it, I hope they don't miss that.
Yeah, you naturally exude confidence when you are feeling mentally strong and confident, or you not naturally exude confidence, you naturally exude beauty because when you're feeling really confident about yourself inside, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you even just like show off in a dress or an outfit or whatever it is you maybe do in the pageant or in general, you know, that kind of ties in. So you're right. It's all about, starting from being confident before you go in because unfortunately to a lot of these young girls, they'll probably go in thinking, okay, well, if I win or if I get somewhere, I'm going to get confident because of that instead of thinking about being confident before.
Yes. And rejection is just part of the process. So for me, really researching each organization and watching what the girls have gone on to do was a really crucial part of the process because I didn't want to compete in an organization where I felt I wouldn't be my best self,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely. Yeah.
Miss USA is the most glamorous thing ever, but I feel like if I got on the Miss USA stage, I wouldn't do as well maybe as if I was on the Miss Volunteer America stage, just
Mhm.
because their organization has different priorities. And again, it's not saying that an organization is bad. It's just look at yourself, look at your strengths, and where can you be the best brand ambassador? Because that's where you go at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love this. Speaking of, I love how you just really project and speak and how you can really carry a conversation. I love, obviously, we follow each other on Instagram and I just see all the amazing things you're doing. Kind of talk about just like your career, working in the industry with biohacking, broadcasting. I mean, I could totally see you just taking off in a major broadcasting, position as you grow in your career. Not that I'm telling you what you need to do, but I just love how you speak and how you project and how you talk to people. So kind of dive into, all that fun stuff.
Well, thank you. I mean, the
Yeah.
goal of being a part of Miss Volunteer America and the Miss New Hampshire volunteer program really is to elevate my career. I think that I've spent a lot of my time building these assets, like how to speak and social media, which has been kind of the building block. So I do hope that by competing, it will lead
Yeah.
to a nice broadcasting career. But kind of going back to the initial question, my career is the most scattered thing ever. People look at my socials and they're like, how do you do it? But it's so fulfilling and it's what I love to do that it doesn't feel like that. So
Yeah.
I started doing TV when I was a junior in college. COVID had just happened and I came out of the pandemic saying, everybody was stuck in their houses. Like, how can I take advantage of that to get with the right people in the right rooms? And for me, that was just cold DMing people. I started DMing magazines in Boston, news outlets, and I was like, I'm a college student. I will give you all of my free time,
Yeah.
right? Like, I
Take
have
me,
all the
please.
free time. Let's use it. So I said, I'll give you my time. Like, what
Yeah.
can I do? And there was a magazine that said, you know what? We host events. Why don't you come and like intern and help out? So I said, bet, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that was really a pivotal moment for me because it was out of the pandemic. Everyone was really happy to be out, but it was also where I met the first TV station that I ever started working for, which is Dirty
Mhm.
Water TV on New England Sports Network. And from there, it was meant to just happen that way because from
Yeah.
there, I got that opportunity. They threw me into a shoot a couple months later with no training. I just said, I'll try it. And like I was kind of saying before, if I fail, it's okay because that is part of building the blocks.
Yeah. Grow.
So I went and did that. And from there, I continued that until I graduated. And that's when I started radio right before. And I started on a morning show in New Hampshire. And that was also an incredible opportunity, too, because I had no experience. And they were
Mhm.
like, sure, let's see what
Come on in.
happens. And so that is the benefit, I guess, of being young and like jumping on things because
Yeah.
people will see your potential if you really like try and you show that
Absolutely.
motivation. So I started on that show. And then from there, it kind of just was like a domino effect. It turned into another radio station and then another TV show. And before all of that, I was doing modeling and some acting as well, which has carried through my career. I'm signed in Boston and in New York City
Nice.
now, which has been a dream of mine for so long. So that, like, my day to day is so different because everything I do is freelance. So some
Mhm.
days I wake up and I go on air and then I go to Boston and film for Let's Meet Boston, which is the newer show I'm doing. And we go around the city and try all these really cool spots or see events. Like,
You're
or
always
some days I'll wake
trying.
up and I'm doing biohack, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
like social media content, researching what's going on in the health world and relaying that information to people in an easy and accessible way so that everybody can have that non bias experience of learning about health and wellness. So there's really has not been a linear path for me, but I've embraced every second of it because number one, that's the fun of it when you're young. But number two, in media, there really is no linear path. People will try to tell you, oh,
Yeah.
you can intern here and here, but it's like you truly never know where you're going to end up. So I just was a yes girl for so long, and it's really opened a lot of doors.
I mean, but it's also great too because, like you said, being young and really diving into your career, you're staying within the same industry in the sense of, social media, broadcasting, modeling, acting, but you're also getting tons of different experiences within different genres, which is good though, because then you have better skill set, you're more well rounded. And then when you do decide on, okay, this is going to be that set path for me for an X amount of years, I have so much different experience to be able to bring into that. And I'm sorry, but that's what people want these days. They don't want that person that just knows how to do one specific, task or has one specific talent. Being multifaceted is, super important, especially in our crazy fast-paced world.
That is media, right?
Yeah.
People look at media and see, again, the glamour side. You see the TV, you see the makeup artists, the cameras, but you have to be able to adapt like with the
Yeah.
snap of a finger because, especially if it's live, you have no idea what's going to happen or where you need to be when you're on site somewhere or who you're going to talk to. So being able to not only stay on your toes, kind of prep in little ways, whether it's with writing or interviewing or getting in front of a camera, those skills, if you practice them before you go to these things, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. You can handle any situation, but you just have to have the confidence to do it. And that comes with practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess then this is like a quick, one-off question. Is there a moment where, that like an embarrassing moment that you had or something that you can be like, when you look back on, it's almost like, when you think about something and you wake up randomly in the middle of the night or you're like walking and all of a sudden you're just like, why is it? Can you share?
Yes. So I decided one day that I was going to try to go into sports
Cool.
because the Boston and New England market is sports. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Celtics, and the
Crazy.
Bruins
Yeah.
too. Nuts. Like next level stuff. Like if you're not on the bandwagon, get out.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Yeah.
So I said, there's got to be opportunity, and there may be a time in my life where I may feel inclined to say yes to sports. So I got involved with this smaller team called the Massachusetts Pirates. They play in arena football. And I did what I kind of always did. I said, hey, if you guys need help with anything, this is what I can do. Just let me know because
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. So I'll offer my time for free in hopes to learn something. So they said, well, if you're good at social media, why don't you come in and do some interning with socials? So I said, perfect. So I go in for my initial interview and I'm talking to uh, just like who would be my manager. And the owner of the team comes into the room and he says, breaks in the door. Like this is out of a movie. He breaks into the door. He's like, oh my God, we need a sideline reporter like tomorrow for Nesson. And I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know who to call. Like he's freaking out. And I'm just sitting there like, because my whole goal of getting into the team
Yeah.
was to learn how to sideline report. So I was just like, I actually have done TV. I I'm like, do I want to volunteer? No, actually, like, because I also getting into the sport meant that I had to learn the sport. And I
Yeah.
don't know football. Like, I don't know NFL
Have to
football,
change that for you.
let alone in arena football, because
Yeah.
that's all different
Oh,
rules.
sure.
So I'm like, sure, like, can I do it? And
Yeah.
the guy is like, first of all, who are you? Because he's never seen me before. And second of all, he's like, have you done TV? And I said, yes. I mean, I've never done sidelines, but I would put my heart and soul to learn. And he was
Yeah.
like, all right, our first game's next week. Can you do it? And
I'll be
literally,
there.
I was like, I will be there. Yes. And so I get there and it's my first live game. And I'm so excited. I've done all this research. But the problem with an in arena football team is that it's kind of like if hockey was played, or I'm sorry, if football was played in like a hockey rink. because
Okay.
it has the sort of like boundary. And so I couldn't really see the game. And there was a time where they were like, okay, you're up. Like it's time for you.
Mhm.
And usually when somebody's doing sidelines, they have like a little earpiece
Yeah.
that will kind of tell them what's going on,
You're
what
like your
questions to
producer.
ask. Yeah. And like who to talk to.
Yeah.
And I had a piece, I had an AirPod, and the pack wasn't working. So
Mm.
they were pushing me out to the sidelines. The coach is trying to tell me, he's trying to coach the game, but he's also trying to tell me, what just happened in the play so
Mhm.
that I can go out there and like ask the right questions because it's literally live TV. So there's the broadcasters in the broadcast booth and I'm all the way on the field. I can't see when they're signaling me to go.
Yeah.
So the cameraman is like, I'll just give you something and we'll just do it. I'm like, all right. I mean, what
Yeah.
else am I going to do at that
Yeah.
moment? It is what it is. I
Yeah.
signed up for this. Like,
Good
here we go.
call.
So I get out there and, I asked a very basic question. It wasn't even the quarterback. I think it was like a right wing or something. And I was like, it was my first interview. I literally didn't even know the guy's name. Like, this is how bad it was. And so I go out and I'm like, hey, I'm here. I call him by his last name, Zico or whatever. That was the player. So I'm like, hey, I'm here with Zico. You just had an incredible play. It was a touchdown. Like, walk me through how you got to that play and who helped you out, which I was proud of that question. We started strong. And then the second question came, and that's when I started to kind of block it out to start
Yeah.
having the trauma response a little because I was thinking way too much. Instead of listening to what he was saying, I was like, what's the next question going to be? And I think it's because I wasn't so comfortable in the sport that I got in my head.
Of course.
And I asked him the question that no reporter should ever ask. And it was, how are you feeling, basically?
Oh yeah. Okay, I get that.
And
What do you
I
think?
felt defeated in that moment because I started strong. I
Yeah.
started confident. And then I got to that like last question. I was like, I should have just cut it off. Like
Mhm.
that next time, now I know to draw the line there. But looking back, like I got some crap for that, you
What did
know?
you say?
Well, I won't say who was in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
However, there was a gentleman in the broadcast booth who was broadcasting and, said to me, if you were working for ESPN, you would be fired for that question. But then I turned on the
No.
ESPN game of whatever was on and the reporter asked the question. So I'm like,
Just say because I hear them say that often. I
Yeah.
mean, I wasn't expecting you to truly like. I was expecting in the craziest way, like something worse. I did not know that that was like a end of the world topic or question, and they're asked that all the time.
and I think it was embarrassing for me because I want to do
Yeah.
well and I want to be prepared. And I had watched all these girls like do these reports, but it is one of those things where you can't predict the questions. You can't
Yeah.
really prepare the questions because it's live and happening in the moment.
Yeah.
And with anything else, like I was prepped for lifestyle with that. Like if you asked me a question or had me interview somebody random at an event or a restaurant, like I could gather some quick things and put
Mhm.
something together. But sports, I haven't quite mastered that yet.
Well, also too, your pen was failing.
And I felt like I was failing totally. So I left being just so hard on myself. But at the end of the day, I did have the reel for my resume. So no matter like what happened the rest of the season, even if they wanted to let me go, which they ended up having like some technical issues. So the season was kind of scattered anyway
Mhm.
with the broadcast, but like I had the reel and that's what I wanted out of it,
Yeah.
regardless of if it was good or not.
Yeah.
So the
Proof
practice
that
and
you
the
did it.
reps were there, right. And it was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm going to do that again, I really got to get my act together.
Yeah. Sports, I would say, like, but the thing about it is, it's been really great is that women in sports has become a lot more common than, what it has been in the past. So I feel like there is a really big space for, women and especially not just your typical old fashioned, Erin Andrews. I love Kay Adams. She's my icon. She's amazing,
Yeah.
but like for instance, Kay Adams went from, that broadcasting, typical with Good Morning Football. Now she's doing FanDuel and she's, a lot more social media and interviewing like that. To me, I could see you doing because it's not as much as on the sideline where you're feeling like you have to be, knowing exactly what's going on or each player that's coming up, but you're able to like prep more when you are doing stuff with podcasts or, going to different training camps and things like that and, in sports.
Yes. And since then, I've tried to push myself even harder instead of curling into a ball and being afraid of sports. I've
Don't
like worked with the Patriots a little bit here in New England and I mean, now's a great time because they're not at the Tom Brady status that they were at. So it's a little easier to get
Yeah.
to the team, which is really beneficial for me. So I've taken advantage of like writing about the team. And I do take the lifestyle approach, but like I'm learning so much by being in the locker room. So for
Mhm.
me, that's a really big win. And honestly, I would love to do those social media interviews, whether it's at training camp. I know that the rules can be strict with filming. So for somebody who's still getting familiar with sports, I'm really just trying to soak it all in and
Yeah.
figure it out. Like I have one season under my belt with the Patriots now, but I would only feel confident doing those interviews this season because
Like,
last season it was overwhelming. You're thrown into a locker room with all of these players and it's like you feel like they're in like their personal bubble. It's a little
yeah.
odd because
They're
they're like
used to it, but I get
changing.
it. Yeah.
It's just wild. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of weird and it takes a minute to get used to, at least for me, for somebody who had really kind of no clue what I was
Yeah.
getting
And
into.
also, you don't know if they're having a good day or a bad day. So if you go up to them and you ask a question, and they're typically never disrespectful, but
Mm-mm.
you'll get some that are just very, if you ask a question, they're one answer. And so it's making your job harder by being like, okay, well, how do you feel?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I try to always be on the good side for
Yeah.
me. That's always what I want to be. I want to be somebody that they can approach and talk to and not feel like I'm going to hit them with something that they don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, the lifestyle approach of sports has worked for me. It's okay if sidelines doesn't work.
Great.
I tried it, I checked the box. And that's, again, what I wanted out of the Pirates experience. But yeah, and I've gone into the Patriots locker room and I've got a little more familiar with the team and I feel a little more confident in asking questions, even dumb ones. Like last year, I wrote an article on their favorite Thanksgiving dishes.
But they love that stuff because
Yes.
when it's not about if it's not about the game, they like it because they're so engulfed with the game, especially
Mhm.
during season with all the the practices and their coaches and the things that they have to do with recovery and being on it, and they're not seeing their families. So when you're able to kind of make light of things and kind of talk about, like you said, things with Thanksgiving or that's when they'll be more responsive. I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I wasn't there enough for them to like get to know me, but
Mhm.
I was there. I feel like I was talking to the same people. Like I kind of knew who would be down to answer a question, and that made my job easier. So it was fun. Will I do it again this season? I think I'll go back a couple times.
You better
But
please, because I'm a big sports gal, so I need to live vicariously through you. Thank you.
well, it's funny because if I turned this down, but so the company I work for was like, if you want like a season's press pass, like let us know and we'll get you into that. But
Yeah.
I feel like when you have a season's press pass, there's a lot of pressure to like show up every day.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting like paid enough to show up every day. So it would have been really cool to have that because then I could go to all the games. But the commitment just becomes more. And right now, like I don't see myself excelling in sports at this point in
Yeah.
my life. Maybe that's next season, maybe that's never.
Mhm.
But I was very happy that they were happy with me at the end of the season because it made my anxiety about working in sports a
You
little
can always
better.
go back then because you left a good impression too, you know?
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
no,
and I'll show face this season, which is good.
yeah, love that. That's so cool. Yeah, if you ever have questions about football or anything, let me know. I'm a big football gal. Went to Alabama. I love the Dolphins, even though, we've been on and off with how good we are. But
Hmm.
need a football question, you're like, hey, what's the answer to this? I got you.
I love it. Thank you so much. I will probably call you.
Let's kind of switch it up a bit, talk about Sports Illustrated a little. Why not?
Yeah,
That's how we met. We both were in New York for the Sports Illustrated 2025 swim magazine launch. It's such a like a long title to say. Like
I
it's
know.
a swim launch party weekend. But we were there and that's how I met you. Kind of talk about, Sports Illustrated. Obviously, we all are auditioning, you know the drill. Just dive in.
For sure. I mean, my Sports Illustrated journey started like right around COVID. Also, this is Cody. He's gonna make an
Hey,
appearance, I
bud.
think.
I love it.
But no, I started Sports Illustrated mainly because I mean, I think we were all a little bored during COVID. We were looking for something to look forward to. And
Yeah.
I mean, to have a community of women who are just so excited to support each other and like really embracing themselves was just so refreshing during a time
Mhm.
we were all so like upset about being indoors. But I really started doing it because I love putting myself at risk in a way. And that felt like a risk because I was 20 when I submitted and I was like, they're probably not going to pick me because I'm so young and like whatever, but to have the practice to go back and do it again and like watch my videos through the years is so crazy to see the
Yeah.
progress that I've kind of made. But yeah, Sports Illustrated to
I mean,
me is such an incredible opportunity. Like the cards or stars like aligned for that for me at any point in my life. And I have so much time in my life for that to work out. I would just use it as an opportunity to advocate for Lyme disease and like be the sort of role model and also just simply in my community. Like in New Hampshire, there's just not a lot of people that pursue what I do. Any way that I can like build a roadmap for other people to watch and like maybe do on their own and inspire somebody else is me kind of doing my job. Like I'm an
yeah,
older sibling, I'm a natural born leader. So yeah,
yeah,
Lyme
you
disease
are.
is
Yes,
important to
you
me.
are.
Thank you. Yeah. But like just to be able to magazine, I mean, it's timeless. It's
Yeah.
an incredible opportunity. No matter what the future of it looks like. I'm almost at like don't even know how to describe it anymore because I've been a part of the process for so long that
Yeah.
it's like the main goal though, like as much as the magazine is incredible, I'd love to walk in the swim week show. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I think about that too. I don't know. I go back and forth with the walking would be amazing. I find though, because it's so fast and it happens so quickly that of course you're going to black out. Like, let's be real. Like
yes.
you're no matter if the slowest you walk or how much you take a second to look at everybody and everything, it goes by so fast. I honestly would love to be more involved. Like if out of everything, I mean, the magazine, obviously, duh. Like, let's be
Hmm.
honest. Like, we're not idiots over here, but I
Hmm.
think for me, being involved, with events and volunteering and being part of community, I think that to me is probably the most, important, I would say. I don't know about
Hmm.
you. I mean, of course, being able to travel somewhere really exotic and put on absolutely stunning bikinis, good God, yes, that'd be amazing. And get photographed by extremely talented people and be around,
Hmm.
the whole entire SI team. But I just love the idea of what a lot of the girls that continue to be part of the brand do. I think that's super important and super cool to see.
Yes. And you actually just reminded me of something. Like I I honestly think I got into Sports Illustrated. Yeah, I wanted to take the risk, but I always watched Camille and her career. And so when she got Sports Illustrated, I'm
Okay.
manifesting. When she got Sports Illustrated, I was like, whoa, because I was watching her, I think, since I was like 17.
Yeah,
And she was, just breaking into New York to model. I mean, obviously, she's been with Rob for so long, Gronkowski.
I know.
And so she like had
Amazing.
her cheerleading career. Like I feel like I've seen her just totally grow and blossom into this like incredible role model. And she kind of, I think we kind of related the most because when I got into modeling, I definitely didn't look like the stereotypical model. I
Mhm.
always say I wasn't Kendall Jenner. I wasn't 5'11, stick thin, like, and at that time it was hard to get into modeling
Yeah.
when you weren't that.
No, I know.
So
Yeah,
watching
absolutely.
Camille do it and not just that, but do it all like
Hmm.
TV hosting, be an entrepreneur. I just love that she didn't have like that linear path.
Yep.
And for me, that was really inspiring to watch and just watch from my phone on social media because I mean, again, nobody in my community was doing that.
Yeah. And is she from up north?
I believe she's from Connecticut.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, so, like, around the neck of the woods, yeah. So
Hmm.
that's also really cool too because it's kinda like, okay, this girl, like, from the area, around the area that I've been, yeah, it's,
Hmm.
you're the role model. You're looking up to it being like, "Okay, this is not the stereotypical girl that we're all, thinking that we need to be. How can we, break some glass ceilings?" And yeah, I think she's amazing, and the career that she's taken is absolutely insane. I mean, she's all over the place right now, which is wild. But were you sitting at the panel in New York when she was on and she kind of got teared up a bit? And she was just talking still about like how she's kind of struggling with self-image and confidence. That's the type of stuff that I love is the realness of it
Hmm.
and just knowing that you can have all these amazing things going on in your life and you can be a role model and also be in what would be a sexy very woman forward with being in swimwear magazines and at the same time have such a be struggling with something. And I like that
Hmm.
she talks about it because it's not often that people will do that.
Of course. And I think it gets lost whether you're a professional athlete or a TV host. Like everybody is a human. And that's
Yes.
one thing throughout all the people that I've met that have been so incredible, like Camille,
Hmm.
or even like country singers in the like radio world that I'm in. And that's actually one thing that I've tried really hard to do when I'm doing sports, especially with the Patriots, is like all we talk about with sports or celebrities are their stats or
Mm.
like their number one songs,
Accolades.
but there's so much more to them than that. And it's
Yeah.
like, let them be a person.
No kidding.
So when Camille does that, I think that she's just really been able to embrace that for herself and she
Mhm.
feels confident enough. Even if she is insecure in that moment, right? She's secure in herself enough to say those things. And
Yeah.
that's really admirable because a lot of celebrities don't do that.
No, and I think also too, it was a nice. I don't want to say like a touch, like it was planned, because gosh, that's never planned. Those real, real raw emotions. But it
Mhm.
goes. I think, well, at least for me, and I don't want to speak for every other woman in the panel. It was kind of a moment of relatability to where I everything. I didn't even think about anyone else in the room. I literally thought it was just her and me in a conversation talking, and that's what I love the most. Because a
Mhm.
lot of the times in these types of situations with panels and stuff, when people are talking, they need to feel like they need to project their perfect self or what's great going on because they're in front of the camera, they're in front of an audience. But with her it was just like us in the living room chatting and having a one-on-one conversation. So yeah, I love that. It's amazing.
So I'm glad that like I chose that side of social media at a young age and
Good for
kind of
you.
found the right people because I always say this, social media really is a tool
Hmm.
for you if you're going to use it correctly. Like it's so easy
Absolutely.
to scroll, but if you
Mhm.
want to network, if you want to build your brand, like do it.
Yep.
Find those people that align and find the positive and follow that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's okay to unfollow Brad from like 6th grade on Instagram. Like he's not
Yes.
going to be mad.
Exactly. No, and I remember saying this, I think in one of my like first episodes of this podcast, like as I talk, I always laugh that it's like this is the 10th episode, girl, chill out. But you said about like you like, as much as people try to act like, oh, like social media is listening to us, it's you can control your algorithm and you can control what you look at and what you watch and who you follow. No one's
Mhm.
forcing you to. So yeah, if you want to unfollow Brad from 6th grade that broke your heart and whatever, like unfollow. Come on.
Yeah. And it's, again, if you're looking at it that much, like, of course, it's going to take a toll on your brain
Yeah.
if it's all negative or brings back bad memories or
Mhm.
whatever. So, yeah, to use it as a tool is way more empowering, I think, than people think.
Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. Using it, it has the ability to literally transform your life in the best way possible if you allow it. And I mean, you're doing that exactly. So I love it. Speaking of, well, with Brad, are you dating? Are you in a relationship? What's going on? Do you want to talk about it? You can say skip.
So, no, we don't have to skip. I'm in a relationship. We've been together for, I want to say, like 4 years. It's
Holy
been a
crap.
while. I know, but I've spent like a lot of my relationship not sharing it because it's one of those things where I feel like people might judge me for this, and that's fine.
Mhm.
But I just find it so sacred to not post every bit about it. And my social media is for my career anyway. Like I will share bits and pieces. He's on there.
Mhm.
It's just not like every post.
Mhm.
But yeah, his name is Steve,
Hey,
and
Steve.
he's been so supportive. I like can't imagine a world in which I'm with somebody else because it takes a certain type of person to be with me, you know,
At least
in
you're
the good
honest. At
and the
least you're
bad,
admitting it. Yeah. At least you,
right?
yeah. At least you're
So,
aware.
right. So, for me to have the career that I have and do the things I want to do, you got to have somebody secure and somebody who just supports you 100%.
Yeah.
And I have been in relationships where, when you're in your early 20s, I don't think that like they always realize the realness or severity of like, oh, I'm going to go do this now.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're like, wait, I thought you wanted to be like a nurse. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shock and they don't get it. And
Exactly.
so that was like kind of my relationship before Steve. And it wasn't bad. Like, everything about it was actually really great. But again, that's such a big part. Like, my
Mhm.
career right now means so much to me. And yeah, there will probably be a point where like I get married and have kids, but I'm 24. And so every opportunity that I get, I'm taking advantage of it now and running with it. And yeah, to have somebody who's supportive is the most important part.
Okay, so I think I'm 35. You're more mature than I am. I'm gonna say that. Damn, like you have it. You know what? But you're right, and that's so true though. And I remember, I don't want to say like when I was your age because that's really annoying, but I was in relationships, in and out of college, and then going back with my college boyfriend, and then I was in, long term relationship in my, middle or like later 20s. And I allowed myself not to put my career goals first, and I allowed myself to, give up some things that I really wanted to like I wanted to do because I thought, okay, well, I should probably just get married, or I should probably, support the boyfriend or whatever it may be. So I love that you are very much strong in the fact that your career is really important for you, and you're putting it first, meaning that Steve doesn't count, but that you're not going to compromise, or you're not going to, give up what matters to you for relationship. And knowing that right now is what's going to keep you being as successful, and you're going to be fine. So I love that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it's just so important to me. Like I can't imagine like giving it up. And even if I did like put a boy first and be like, you know what, I really want this relationship to work,
Yeah.
I would probably still find a way to make it happen because
Yeah.
that's just me. And like if I had to move, like I would just do it elsewhere, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's really worked out in the way that it's supposed to, and I fully believe that.
Any current projects right now that you're working on that you're really excited about? Anything you want to talk about? We can always work in, private. So don't say any secrets or anything, but anything really
Mhm.
big that you're working on, or any kind of shout outs you want to talk about or anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for New York Fashion Week coming up
Oh,
because um I'm hosting a red carpet for a Lyme disease show.
wait,
And
congratulations. That's
I
amazing.
cannot wait for that. I mean, New York Fashion Week is just so much fun, but to be able to host a red carpet like is next level. So I can't
Yeah.
wait. But other than that, I'm just focusing on my year, getting ready to go to Jackson in June and prep for Miss Volunteer America, which means I'm going gown shopping. That will also
Oh,
probably mean like
can you
some
just do like a
fittings.
series on that?
I should. I can't decide if I'm going to go custom or if I'm going to not, I guess. I think I want to go custom. So I'm going to the Giovanni
If it's
showroom.
your fifth show and it's the fifth girl that's winning, you gotta go custom.
I think so,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I don't want anyone to have my dress. Like,
Well, and also
what?
you could always go custom to where you can have it repurposed of some sort to use it again.
Yes. And I think I could, like, especially because the gowns now, they're so form fitted and like I could eventually wear it maybe to another red carpet or who knows,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
wherever broadcasting brings
absolutely.
me. And yeah, another goal really is I would love to start a nonprofit at some point supporting Lyme disease, like survivors and patients. And I say survivors, it sounds dramatic, but it's kind of true.
I think it's very
And
normal. Yeah.
yeah. So just to give people like the resources to be able to pay for a test because that can be costly,
Really?
vitamins, treatments, things that
Insurance
just like
wouldn't
come up.
cover that?
We honestly really didn't like. So the test I took was $400, not covered by insurance.
And you
So
couldn't even try to claim it.
did it. I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just bought it.
Yeah. 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 Got it.
I was like, I don't even care at this point. Like, I just want to know if I have it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, no, no. Good.
You might be able to. I don't know. A lot of the stuff when it comes to Lyme, especially because the treatment is so specialized, you can't.
Unfortunately, that's wild.
But then again, I didn't really do a ton of research. I'm really lucky. I was just like, I'm going to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I've worked, I have money that I can just put into this. So I did.
Well,
But
that's the
not,
whole
again,
point of
not
working
everybody
is to
has
have
that.
that, to be able to unfortunately facilitates things like that. So
Exactly. So that would be another goal of mine further down the line. It doesn't have to be during my year, but I would like to start it during my year as Miss New Hampshire volunteer,
yeah.
just to like utilize those connections and get that kind of started.
Mhm.
And those are like the big projects right now. I'm sure other things will come up. I have a lot of things that are kind of like in the works but not confirmed. So we'll see. I hope they work out, but you never know. Like I would love to do some more red carpets this year, like at a big award show if I could. I don't know what the Miss New Hampshire volunteer title will let me do, but not like my board, but like what that title will kind of give me like leverage and
Absolutely.
I guess notoriety to get on a red
You know what?
carpet.
It doesn't hurt to try. The worst you get is a no, or they say,
Exactly.
yeah, girl, come on in.
Exactly. That's why I won't give up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw myself in a bunch of fires and kind of see what lands this
Yeah.
year. And it's another year of yeses for me, basically. Like, I want to, again, take advantage of whatever comes up this year.
Good for you. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch you too. So that'll be fun. All
And
right.
I'm excited to watch your podcast, by the way. I love it. And your
Hey,
first episode was killer.
I try. Yeah, it's an interesting bit in the sense because you'll have your good episodes, not bad episodes, but you'll have your ones like, I didn't really like that. It is
Mhm.
definitely because not every week you're on it, and so it
Yeah.
kind of goes with the flow of life, but I'm really loving it. So thank you. Yes. And of course, having you on is amazing. So it's been great. But
Yay.
I love this new endeavor. Okay, we're gonna play a really quick game and then I'll let you go. But some of these questions are silly. It's just would you rather? And I literally,
Okay.
as I'm looking, I'm like, this is so elementary, but whatever. So, would you rather never drink coffee again or never moisturize?
No. I have to moisturize. It's a hard choice, but I have to. I
I
have no
agree.
choice. My
Yeah.
skin's really dry. And I live in New England. It's
Yeah, I was
cold.
about to say you live like northeast. You're gonna need that. Okay, cool, cool. Would you rather have perfect skin forever but no vacations, or travel anywhere you want, but your skin always breaks out right before trips?
I would like to travel, so I'll just deal with
Deal
the
with it.
breakouts.
Makeup. That's what
Yeah.
I was like,
A
that would
facial.
yeah, that's an easy question. Would you rather always have laundry done but never folded, or always have dishes done but never put away? I know.
Laundry never folded.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Because dishes stink.
Hmm.
Oh, well, if they're done, they're never putting away. Okay, maybe they won't. Okay, yeah, I agree.
But then there's like a huge pile in the kitchen. It's like an eyesore. I don't know. Versus you can put the laundry in the closet.
Like, where are you going to store the dishes? Like, it's not aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
Okay, cool. These are so funny. I'm dying. Would you rather always have glow? I don't know why I did the skin again. Glowing skin, but feel tired, or always have energy, but your skin unpredictable? I don't know why I guess because I'm such a skincare gal. I'm like,
I mean, your skin is incredible, so I don't blame you for thinking about your skin. You're probably thinking about it 24/7 so that it looks amazing. But I think option 2, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. 100%. Two more. Would you rather give up streaming, so like Netflix, Hulu, all the
Mhm.
jazz, or give up social media?
Streaming.
Yeah. I was gonna
I
say,
don't watch really streaming anyway.
yeah. I honestly think I would give up streaming as much as I do love a good, like when there's really good shows out, but social media can be my streaming because you can always
For
find
sure.
some people in the wild, wild west doing some crazy stuff, anyways.
Mhm.
All right, last one. Would you rather accidentally send a nude to your parents or accidentally send a nude to your work group chat? I know.
My parents.
Yeah.
The work group chat, I don't think that would end well.
My thing is, if it's the work group chat, then who would it go to? Eventually one, like, are you going to trust them to always keep it within themselves where it's like your parents are gonna
Right.
be like, oh, honey, like wrong person, but
Honey, that's nice, honey.
maybe you should have done this angle instead.
Start giving you pointers. You're like,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all I have for the questions. Is there anything that you want to kind of talk about or say or end it on?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get it a shot.
My Instagram is Sophie Sargent,
Yeah.
and my last name is Sargent. It's not spelled like a surgeon or, sergeant with the EANT, whatever. So, yeah, that's mainly where I post if you want to find more about me. And I also started a like Lyme disease sort of related Instagram, and it's called Let's Talk Ticks. A
Ooh,
TikTok is kind of the bit there. So
that's
if you want to
really
follow it,
bold
you
of you. I
can. I'm
love
only
that.
at 50 followers, so
That's okay.
the
My
more the merrier.
followers, so I feel it.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it though. Oh, and then if you want to follow my pageant year, it's Miss NH Vol, which is VOL on
Okay.
Instagram as well.
Send me all these because we will make sure that we tag it all too.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I loved having you on. I am very thankful that you took the time to do this out of your busy schedule. I've loved getting to know you and keep in touch from a distance. And I truly just can't wait to see all the amazing things you do and continue to, I don't know, support you and befriend you. And you're just amazing. So I truly appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. I mean, likewise, if you need anything or anything comes up, like you know where to find me.
Yeah.
I know we'll be working on some biohack stuff soon. I'm still working on your run club video.
Can't
So
wait. Yeah.
yeah, but anything you need.
Likewise, girl. Likewise.
I know y'all thought I forgot, but I haven't. And I didn't do products I'm digging this week last episode, but we're picking back up with products I'm digging this week. And let's get started. First off is St. James, their organic black tea. They sent me so many. I have their white lotus flavor, this red raspberry. I am right now munching on a blood orange and hibiscus. And then there is a lemon too. So refreshing. You can just drink it on its own, spike it if you want. I was also thinking about doing it with seltzer, or not seltzer, but sparkling water, little bubble. From there, okay, so one of the things my mom does when she travels, she'll get magnets, but I don't put them anywhere really. So she always knows I love honey, so she'll get me honey or anything tea related or nice bone china tea cups, etc., or perfume. And I love Jean Paul. I don't, it's not Cotier, right? It's just Jean Paul, right? Let me make sure because I've used them for a while. Jean Paul Galler, whatever. Anywho, this is their limited edition perfume, and she actually found it for me. I'm gonna have to spray it right now. It smells so good. Hold on. Oops. It is sexy. It is romantic. It is deep. It's deep. It's deep. I love it. And then the bottles are absolutely gorgeous. I have so many of these bottles. This is probably my favorite perfume brand there is right here. Moving on, we have Actinarc. I have been using Actinarc for a hot minute now, and they also sent me a ton of product, which I'm very thankful for. And in one of the boxes of the two, they gave me anti-frizz leave-in conditioner. I have it in right now. Loving it. If you're watching, you'll see how gorgeous my locks are. And in the package as well is their gua sha for the product to really seep in the scalp. This is more for the scalp serums that I have and the scalp treatments, which I have been sharing a ton about. So loving that. And then, oh, this is it. Of course, I didn't notice because it's a bag and I have so many bags everywhere. Last but certainly not least is this Fabletics bag. I just think it is darling. I love the shape of it and color. You can make it into a side satchel. I don't know what you want to call it, or around the shoulder. It clips, which is super easy. I love the deep pocket. And then there's a little area to put card or anything else. And then really cool is the double zipper on both sides. And then there's a safety pouch in the back to put something that you don't want to lose or have easy access to. It also fits a wallet. For instance, this wallet, it will fit. I like that it's not large, but it's also big enough to fit items because I don't travel light no matter what. Anyways, did we just finish episode 10 of the weekly warm up? I think we have. So come back next week. We've got really amazing guests coming up, and that's that.